Let's kick things off with this simple idea. Every man has a taste. It's really just a way of saying, we all have our own preferences, our own thing. For some people, that might be a quiet hobby, but for others, well, their taste leans towards something a whole lot more dangerous. So today, we're going to explore what it means to actually crave that risk. And this is the cool part, how that world has, kind of surprisingly, shaped the way we all talk.
So, I gotta ask you right off the bat, are you a daredevil? Do you crave that adrenaline rush, that feeling of being right on the absolute edge? It's a question that really gets to the heart of what makes a certain kind of person tick. So, what exactly is a daredevil? Well, the definition says it all. It's someone who enjoys, and that's the key word, doing physically dangerous things. They don't just put up with the risk, they actively go looking for it. So let's jump into their world for a minute. Okay, first up, we're diving headfirst into the world of the daredevil. This is their arena, the world of extreme challenges. So, what kind of sports are we even talking about here? And what does it take to get in the game? This gives you a little peek into their toolkit. I mean, think about it. Whether you're kayaking down some insane rapids, snowboarding a sheer cliff face, or doing a classic bungee jump, every sport has its own essential gear. It can be something as simple as a pair of goggles, or as critical as that bungee cord that's going to save your life. This is the stuff that makes it all possible. But, it's not just about the gear or the stunts. It's about the feeling. It's an absolute emotional roller coaster of risk. Let's talk about what that feels like.
Let's be honest, the first thing you're going to feel is just pure fear. I mean, pushing your body and your mind to these limits, it's absolutely, undeniably frightening. But right on the heels of that fear, that's what makes it so thrilling. The adrenaline, the speed, that unbelievable rush you get from staring down that terror and doing it anyway. That's the hook. That's what keeps them coming back. And of course, it's completely exhausting. These aren't just little bursts of energy. We're talking about incredibly demanding feats that drain you not just physically, but mentally too. There's one word that really sums up this whole cocktail of feelings. Nerve-wracking. It's that super intense state of being nervous and worried, that tension right before the jump, right before the drop. That feeling is a huge part of the appeal. So what's the reward? Why go through all that fear and exhaustion? Well, it's this, a huge sense of elation, an absolutely incredible feeling of pure happiness and excitement that comes from conquering that challenge. That's the feeling they're chasing. Okay, so now we kind of get the mindset of a daredevil, but here's where it gets really interesting and connects to all of us. We're going to shift gears from the sports arena to our everyday speech and see how the boxing ring literally found its way into the boardroom. So why boxing and swimming all of a sudden? It's pretty fascinating, actually. The language that was born from these raw physical struggles, it gives us the perfect metaphors to talk about our own daily battles. It's like a shared, gut-level way to talk about struggle, victory, and what's fair. Okay, let's take a classic. To be on the ropes. In a boxing match, it means a fighter is trapped against the ropes. They're cornered, they're in serious trouble. And in life, we use it the exact same way. When we say a company is on the ropes, everyone instantly knows how desperate that situation is. Or how about this one? Hit below the belt. In boxing, that's an illegal, totally unfair move. So in an argument, when someone brings up something really personal and cruel, yep, they're doing the exact same thing. It's a verbal low blow. And this one, oh man, I think we've all felt this at some point. Being thrown in at the deep end. It comes from that feeling of panic, of being in water over your head when you're not ready for it. And look, this goes way beyond just a few phrases from boxing or swimming. We are constantly speaking like champions, borrowing the language of victory and struggle from the entire world of sports. I mean, the list just goes on and on. We talk about people who move the goalposts on a project. We try to box someone into a corner during a negotiation. We feel out of our depth when a task is way too hard. And we praise people for being on the ball when they're sharp and ready for anything. This right here captures that feeling perfectly. Moving the goalposts is that deep, deep frustration when the rules suddenly change, right when you thought you were about to score. And it's not even just direct sports idioms. Our language is just full of these common, fixed phrases that have that same spirit of action. When we hit the road, or have a close shave, or decide to sleep on it, we're using this dynamic, active language to talk about everyday life. And the phrase, second to none, I mean, that's the ultimate compliment, right?
It's borrowed straight from the winner's podium. It means you are, without a single doubt, the absolute best there is.
So we're at the finish line. Let's wrap this all up and talk about why this whole connection between sports and speech actually matters to you.
Remember where we started with this phrase, and now we've come full circle. Every man to his taste. So whether your taste is for bungee jumping or for smashing a sales target, we all face challenges that feel, in their own way, like a competitive sport.
When you really boil it down, the language of sports gives us this powerful universal shorthand. It doesn't matter if you're climbing a literal mountain or a mountain of paperwork at your desk. We all instinctively use the language of the game to describe our struggles and our victories. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. In life, in your career, the goalposts will always move. The rules are going to change. So the real question is, how will you adapt? How will you stay on the ball?